Welcome to On the Money right here on WDBO. My name's Greg Rhodes, joined today by the people of Certified Financial Group, the people who are planning your financial future, making your tomorrow just a little bit better than your today. Joining us today, we have Nancy Hecht and Joe Bert, certified financial planners with the Certified Financial Group. And you know by now that for more than 30 years, the professionals at Certified Financial Group have been answering your questions for you every week right here on WDBO's On the Money. They become Central Florida's most listened to financial call-in program, and it's the only call-in program where all the hosts are certified financial planners. And good morning, Nancy and Joe. How are you this weekend?
Good morning.
Good morning, Greg. Good to be with you. As you said in the intro, Nancy and I are here to take the calls that our listeners might have. Things might be on your mind regarding your personal finances. This is a financial call-in show. This is not a one-hour infomercial. We are here to help you. So if you have anything on your mind regarding your personal finances, decisions that you're trying to make regarding your IRA or 401k, regarding insurance, regarding annuities, regarding long-term care, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, real estate, all that stuff and more, that Nancy and I and the 15 other certified financial planners deal with day in and day out, we're providing retirement planning and investment advice for a fee, but on Saturday morning we're here for you absolutely free. So if there's anything on your mind regarding your personal finances, things you're trying to figure out, the good news for you is the lines are absolutely wide open, and all you have to do is pick up the phone and dial these magic numbers.
And those numbers are 844-580-9326. That's 844-580-WDBO, or you can utilize the open mic feature inside the WDBO app. And don't forget, we have Charles Curry taking your calls off the air today at 407-869-9800. And today's topic is QCDs, the tax smart way clients are giving back.
QCD, what's it stand for, Nancy?
It stands for Qualified Charitable Distribution.
There you go.
So what this is a spinoff from is required minimum distribution. So, we help a lot of people save a lot of money for their retirement. And I just asked Joe to look up when this rule started. So in 1986, we started with required minimum withdrawals at age 70 and a half. So there was a specific percentage that you had to withdraw from your qualified retirement accounts, 401ks and IRAs. That was all that existed at the time. Or pay a 50% penalty. So we have a lot of clients that also make charitable contributions to various different organizations. And in the last 2 weeks, I have gotten so many requests from my clients as to how they could do that. So that lets you know that there's a lot of people that are turning 73 this year, which is the first year that you have to take required minimum distributions right now. So people make charitable contributions regularly to various different organizations, and now they're being forced to take money out of their retirement accounts. So how can you do both of those and spin it into one transaction? So the QCD rule was put into place, which allows our clients to make the charitable contributions up to a max of $108,000 a year as part of their required minimum distributions directly from their qualified retirement accounts to the charities.
But it's only an IRA, right? Only IRAs.
Right, right. You don't want to
Can't do it on your 401k.
Can't do it on your 401k, but if somebody is retired, they shouldn't be leaving their money in their 401k anyways. They should roll it over to an IRA.
They should, but they don't.
Yeah, well,
But go ahead.
we try and get them to do that,
That's right.
and then again, if you do, if the bulk of your money is still under that 401k wrapper and you're no longer there and you want to accomplish this transaction, rolling it over to an IRA will allow you to do that. So if you're making a charitable or you're considering making a qualified charitable contribution, what you need is the proper registered name of the charity. You need their tax ID number. You need the proper address, and then an individual to whom should be receiving the check on behalf of the charity for you. Now, one of the things I ran into a couple weeks ago with one of my clients is there was some specific Humane Society charities that they wanted to make contributions to. And what I found out is, if you look at, Humane Society of Seminole County, you're going to get 5 or 6 different addresses. and locations for that specific charity. So that's something that you have to zero in on. What particular location do you want to make a donation to? This particular family had gotten a dog from one particular location, and that was the specific one that they wanted to help. And they were giving me a name for a specific humane society, and that wasn't actually the proper name for the location that they wanted to go. So we want to make sure that this is done properly for our clients. So it takes a little bit of digging on their behalf before we can get this paperwork done, because once it's done, it's done.
And it's got to be direct. It's got to be, yes, it's got to be from the IRA,
Right.
payable to the charity, not to you, then you give it to the charity.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And the nice thing is it counts as your qualified distribution. It could go out of there from your IRA account to the charity without a tax being deducted, and it also qualifies for a charitable deduction on your tax return. So, you know, we've talked in the past about double dipping in different types of arenas. So this will keep you cool with the IRS on the withdrawal side and on the contribution side. Now, I did get an email from a listener a couple days ago who is not at full retirement age yet and was wondering, could they make qualified charitable distributions from an IRA
Wait, you said full retirement age. Are you talking about for Social Security full retirement age or?
or taking retirement? Excuse me. They have not reached the first age at which they have to take their required minimum distributions yet.
Got
I'm
it.
sorry
That's all right.
to be a little bit confusing. This gentleman is under age 73, but wants to make those contributions. So what he's looking at is using the qualified charitable distribution program to take some money out of his IRA account prior to required minimum distribution age. So it'll come again directly from his IRA to the charity, non-taxable, get the charitable deduction. But what he's also doing is lowering the amount that's in his IRA. So when he does hit required minimum distribution age, there's less money that he's going to have to pull out. You know, so he's doing a little bit of pre-tax planning. Now, one other thing that may throw a little bit of change into the whole program is there is a proposal to change the required minimum distribution age to 75 from 73.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whether that will pass or not, who knows? But right now, anybody who's age 73 or higher has to take a required minimum distribution.
Yeah. The one thing about, the money going directly to the charity, one thing I found out recently also is that you could have the check sent to you as long as it's payable to the charity. This way you can hand it personally to your priest, your rabbi, to the whole Humane Society and get that feel-good sense at the time. But once again, the check cannot be made payable to you, as you said.
Right.
But you can have it sent to you and have it payable to the charity, and then in turn you can personally hand it to whomever you want to hand it to. But a lot of people don't want to get involved in all that stuff
Well,
and just direct. But on the check, they can designate who it's from,
Yeah, I was
so they
just
know
going
it's
to say
coming
that.
to. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Working through the providers that manage or maintain the assets for most of my clients, you do have the option to put a note on the check. So,
Yeah,
so
unfortunately,
it's a great way to do the charitable work that a lot of people have always been wanting to do. And then, keep yourself clean with the IRS because, who wants to pay a 50% penalty?
right. And unfortunately, though, you can't use the QCD going to your donor advised fund, where you get the tax deduction when it goes in there. And I wish they would change that rule because more and more of our clients are using those donor advised funds as a way to make your charitable contributions. But right now, you can't put that QCD into the donor advised fund. So.
Well,
Anyway.
yeah, and my interpretation of that would be is it's not going, quote unquote, directly to the charity.
Right.
It's going to a bypass.
Mm-hmm.
So the IRS wants it cleanly going from A to B.
Right.
to qualify under this rule.
Right.
So, I mean, it hasn't been around for, all of our time, but it's been around for a very long time. With the markets doing, I know a lot of people are concerned about, the tariffs and the impacts and everything's been so bad. But if you look year to date, the markets have been doing decent, not necessarily negative. So people are getting surprised at how much they have to withdraw from their retirement accounts for the required minimum distributions. And this is a way to make it a little bit less painful, because you're going to help your community and be philanthropic and,
Right. And the amount you have to take out this year is based on what the balance was in December of last year.
Right.
And the markets, of course, were up and things were pretty good. So you may be surprised as to how much you take out. As our listeners know, if you are a client of ours, you will be getting notification here in the fourth quarter of the year or maybe sooner about your QCDs as to what you need to do so we don't get in line on December 31st. And the other thing that we found out is that check needs to be cashed. It needs to be cashed by before the end of the year. So you can't set this up on December 29th and hope the charity gets it by December 31st. The check has to be cashed in order for you to get that charitable deduction. So a little wrinkle there. So stay in touch with your advisor.
I didn't know.
Well, yeah. Well, if you're a regular listener to the program, you know.
Well,
yeah. So it's something that really happened to get one of Gary's clients, and he had to. No, I think it was Chris Tordvine's client. He had to scramble last year to get that done because the check had not cleared, and so anyway, so you want to be, you don't want to wait to the 11th hour. If you know what the RMD is for 2024, get with us and let's get that done so we're not scrambling here on December 29th and trying to get something done for you.
well, I guess I'm happy that the lump sum kinds of distributions I always do in October.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, try to
it's
get it
well
done.
taken care of prior to the end of the year. So my clients don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, there you go.
So again, if you're under age 73, you can do a qualified charitable distribution. And of course, anybody who has to do it, you can certainly do it. And the limit is $108,000 this year.
But you have to be 70 and a half to do
Correct.
it.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
So those are the rules, everything you ever want to know. I'm glad you tuned in. I hear the bumper music. Greg, take it away.
That's right. If you've got any more questions about these QCDs, these qualifying charitable donations, or if you have any other financial questions, go ahead and give us a call here, 844-580-9326. That's 844-580-WDBO, or go ahead and use that open mic feature inside the WDBO app. You're listening to On the Money, where we're planning tomorrow
Today.
with the Certified Financial Group.
Years ago, I had a dream of building the best personal financial consulting firm in Central Florida. Now, with 14 certified financial planners acting as fiduciaries, I believe we're there. But don't take my word for it.
As we approach retirement, we have the freedom of choice.
Peace of mind that we now have. That's everything to us.
The people that work here are honest and caring, and I feel like I can go to sleep at night.
So schedule your no-obligation visit today at financialgroup.com, where we're planning tomorrow, today. For more than 40 years, our certified financial planner professionals, acting as fiduciaries, have been providing retirement planning and asset management for a fee to countless families across Central Florida.
We've been with Certified since 1992.
We're now into the third or fourth generation of clients that have come to CFG and the team here to do a great job.
It's been so long since I've been doing this that I just don't even worry about anything anymore.
We're a certified financial group, but we're planning tomorrow, today. Our fiduciary approach of providing retirement planning and investment management for a fee seems to resonate with our clients. But don't take my word for it.
I knew a gentleman that I worked with who had come to a Certified Financial Group.
A friend of mine recommended them, and they were totally correct how good they are.
I had heard from somebody else that it was the best one in town. I've sent several of my teacher friends here.
We're a certified financial group, but we're planning tomorrow, today. You may be new to the area, but we're not. For more than 40 years, our certified financial planner professionals, acting as fiduciaries, have been providing retirement planning and asset management for a fee to countless families across Central Florida.
We've been with Certified since 1992.
We're now into the third or fourth generation of clients that have come to CFG and the team here to do a great job.
It's been so long since I've been doing this that I just don't even worry about anything anymore.
We're Certified Financial Group, where we're planning tomorrow, today. Black Monday, the dot-com bust, 9/11, and now 2 wars. We've pretty much seen it all. Acting as fiduciaries, our CFP professionals have been a steady hand guiding our clients to and through their retirement years.
No reason to be worried about anything.
Stay the course. You stay the course, and you get there.
I don't have to worry about it like I know a lot of people look at it every day. I don't have to do that with the team here at Certified Financial Group.
We're Certified Financial Group, where we're planning tomorrow, today. Are you tired of trying to reach your advisor through a call center and being put on hold for 20 minutes? That's why we don't use one, and our clients seem to appreciate the personal touch.
They always answer my questions and really care about what's going on with me.
You can trust what they say, and they do what they say, and it gives you a comfort feeling it's hard to find in the world today.
You know, waiting for you to call almost. You almost feel like that.
We're Certified Financial Group, where we're planning tomorrow, today.
As an investor, you want peace of mind. You need to know that your advisor is not only thoroughly competent, but also a fiduciary. In other words, he or she is acting at all times in your best interests. You need to trust your advisor, regardless of how much money you have to invest or what part of the world you're in. It might not be your money you're entrusting the advisor with. Perhaps you're a board member of a charity or foundation whose future depends on prudent investment. Or perhaps you have the responsibility of making investment decisions on behalf of other people. As the trustee of a retirement plan, the decisions you make can have a direct impact on the lives of your employees. Whatever type of investor you are, the solution is to use an advisor certified by the Center for Fiduciary Excellence. A CFEX certified advisory firm demonstrates its adherence to a global fiduciary standard of excellence, a defined standard with specific criteria covering 21 best practices. The documented, repeatable processes and the evidence-based decision-making that CFEX demands are more likely to generate investment portfolios that match client needs and expectations. And because the firm voluntarily agrees to a rigorous annual audit, investors can rest assured that their advisor continues to work to the highest professional standards. This independent verification is even more critical for trustees and investment committee members of retirement plans who are legally required to conduct regular due diligence on their service providers. Use a CFEX certified firm, and that job has been done already by an expert at no expense to the plan. So why leave anything to chance? Insist on working with investment professionals you can truly trust. Insist on using a CFEX certified advisor.
Welcome back to On the Money here on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580, where you can also listen live on the WDBO app wherever you happen to be. Today we have Nancy Hecht and Joe Bert from the Certified Financial Group. And if you have any questions about your finances, go ahead and give us a call here at 844-580-9326. That's 844-580-WDBO, or you can go ahead and use that open mic feature inside the WDBO app. Don't forget, we have Charles Curry, who's taking your calls off air today. That number is at 407-869-9800. And now back to Nancy and Joe.
All right.
So can we talk to Paul?
Absolutely. Let's go ahead and bring
Hi,
Paul.
Paul. How you
Good
doing?
morning, Paul. What's up?
Hi there. How you doing?
Good.
I've been retired since around 2010, and currently, what's left of my retirement 401ks and IRA CDs is I'm sitting on a 200K IRA CD now for years. And I've been taking the RMD out every year for about the last 8 or 9 years, whatever. And I take 10K out and I send 2,500 over to the feds I take the 7,500, slide that into my online savings account, and it makes as much money almost as I take out every year.
Mm-hmm.
So for years now, it's just hovering around, 200, 210, goes up and down. So I'm saying I'm never going to deplete this at this rate. So what I was thinking is I'd like to take maybe 30K or 50K. And I'm a numbers guy, so I do my taxes, I do the math, I'm an engineer, so I can figure all this stuff out. And I know that if I take more money, I basically got to send about 22% to 25% in taxes. That's what it's going to cost me. So if I take another 30K, that 22% of that's going to go away in taxes.
Okay.
It's money that I don't need to use right now. We've got other sources. As a matter of fact, since I retired, we've never touched our retirement accounts at all.
Mm-hmm.
We both have Social Security. We both have pensions from where we worked and other income coming in. And I've just never touched the retirement money. And it's just sitting there. The 200K started to bug me this year that, I'm never going to deplete this money. I'll never be able to use it unless I take more of it. And it's not that I even need it. I guess it's bothering me that.
So, Paul, hold it. What's your question?
Well, my question is it foolish to just take the money and pay more taxes just so I can take the money and throw it in a savings account?
Paul, my friend, enjoy life. Enjoy life. You're in a great position. You're focused too much on the minutia. I understand your engineering background, but I want to tell you, life changes in a heartbeat, and everything that you ever want to do, plan to do, thinking about doing, you may never be able to do because tomorrow may change for you. You're in a good position in life that you don't have to worry about what you got. You've got enough money coming in. My suggestion to you is enjoy life, be charitable with it, enjoy your kids, and enjoy your grandkids.
All right, so Paul, listen on the other side because I have a little bit of an addendum to Joe's answer he just gave you, but we have to break for the news.
That's right, Paul.
Okay.
Yep, Paul, you're doing great. We'll go ahead and keep you here online. So if you do have any other questions, we can kind of get back to you here. You've been listening to On the Money here on WDBO, where we're planning tomorrow
Today.
with the Certified Financial Group.
You may be new to the area, but we're not. For more than 40 years, our certified financial planner professionals, acting as fiduciaries and providing retirement planning and asset management for a fee to countless families across Central Florida.
We've been with Certified since 1992.
We're now into the third or fourth generation of clients that have come to CFG and the team here to do a great job.
It's been so long since I've been doing this that I just don't even worry about anything anymore.
We're Certified Financial Group, but we're planning tomorrow, today. Black Monday, the dot-com bust, 9/11, and now 2 wars. We've pretty much seen it all. Acting as fiduciaries, our CFP professionals have been a steady hand guiding our clients to and through their retirement years.
No reason to be worried about anything.
Stay the course. Just stay the course, and you get there.
I don't have to worry about it like I know a lot of people look at it every day. I don't have to do that with the team here at Certified Financial Group.
We're Certified Financial Group, but we're planning tomorrow, today. Are you tired of trying to reach your advisor through a call center and being put on hold for 20 minutes? That's why we don't use one, and our clients seem to appreciate the personal touch.
They always answer my questions and really care about what's going on with me.
You can trust what they say, and they do what they say, and it gives you a comfort feeling it's hard to find in the world today.
Waiting for you to call almost. You almost feel like that.
We're Certified Financial Group, but we're planning tomorrow, today.
As an an investor, you want peace of mind. You need to know that your advisor is not only thoroughly competent, but also a fiduciary. In other words, he or she is acting at all times in your best interests. You need to trust your advisor, regardless of how much money you have to invest or what part of the world you're in. It might not be your money you're entrusting the advisor with. Perhaps you're a board member of a charity or foundation whose future depends on prudent investment. Or perhaps you have the responsibility of making investment decisions on behalf of other people. As the trustee of a retirement plan, the decisions you make can have a direct impact on the lives of your employees. Whatever type of investor you are, the solution is to use an advisor certified by the Center for Fiduciary Excellence. A CFEX certified advisory firm demonstrates its adherence to a global fiduciary standard of excellence, a defined standard with specific criteria covering 21 best practices. The documented, repeatable processes and the evidence-based decision-making that CFEX demands are more likely to generate investment portfolios that match client needs and expectations. And because the firm voluntarily agrees to a rigorous annual audit, investors can rest assured that their advisor continues to work to the highest professional standards. This independent verification is even more critical for trustees and investment committee members of retirement plans who are legally required to conduct regular due diligence on their service providers. Use a CFEX certified firm, and that job has been done already by an expert at no expense to the plan. So why leave anything to chance? Insist on working with investment professionals you can truly trust. Insist on using a CFEX certified advisor.
So you guys don't know Chicago, but I'm sure in your neighborhood you guys have an old school butcher where you walk in and there's a bunch of guys, no gloves, big white aprons, and there's Frank and there's Stevie and there's Mikey. And these guys know more about meat and more about animals and more about cooking the meat than any of us will ever learn. And so you walk in and you say, hey, Lou, I need to, I'm barbecuing this weekend, right? What do you like? And Lou goes to the big racks of stuff he has underneath the glass, and he goes, the veal chops, just in from Argentina, they are the bomb. And you go, veal, oh, I like veal. Well, what do you got on skirt steak? Oh, we got some great skirt steak, just came in yesterday from Montana. Skirt steak is one of my favorite, marinated up a little bit, it's fantastic. Lou will never say to you, Elliot, it's a little long on the meat here, big guy.
Welcome back to On the Money here on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580, or you can listen live anywhere on the WDBO app. Today we have Nancy Hecht and Joe Bert from the Certified Financial Group. And if you have any questions about your finances, go ahead and give us a call here, 844-580-9326. That's 844-580-WDBO, or you can use that open mic feature inside the WDBO app. We also have the line 407-869-9800. That's where Charles Curry taking your calls off air. And now we'll go back to Nancy and Joe, and we were wrapping up with Paul. Who has such a, it sounds like, according to Joe, sounds like a great financial situation for his retirement.
Yeah. So congratulations, Paul. You've done well.
So Paul, it seems to me that having to deal with the annual required minimum distributions is becoming a little bit of a pain. So another choice you have is to just completely liquidate your retirement account. You will have to, maybe bump your tax withholding up to 22 or 25%. But then this annual dance that you're doing that's causing you, it sounds like a little bit of angst, can be done and over with. Did you realize that you have that choice?
Yes, I do. I also realize if it blows through 212,000, that my Part B on my Medicare is going to also go up.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Right.
So,
Paul?
It's a lot of checks and balances.
Paul, let me get back to my personal philosophy here. How old are you?
I am 79.
79.
In
All right.
great shape.
Good. Enjoy these years. And that's the point I was trying to make. Look at what you want to do with you. You're married. If you're married, have a friend or a partner or whatever you got going on there, kids, grandkids, enjoy it. And don't get so wrapped around the taxes that you have to pay. You've been blessed with what you have, but don't try to figure it out to the nth degree, because it can all end tomorrow. And you look back and say, gee, I wish I'd have done that stuff when I had the opportunity. So, you've done very well. Congratulations. And I admire the dedication and the attention that you put to looking at what your RMDs are and figuring out your taxes. But don't let the tax tail wag your dog's life. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's my personal philosophy.
But again, you have choice.
Yeah, you have choice.
You can determine how quickly you empty out that account.
Yep,
I mean, the government does not care if you take out more than your required
In fact, they
minimum
encourage you to do
distribution.
that.
Yeah,
So.
anyways, have a great weekend.
All right, thank you. I do take out more than I have to, but it's still not enough to get rid of it.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you have that choice. You could do it all in one fell swoop.
Yeah, just take the pain and get it over with. All right, Paul. Thanks for your call. All right, I see we got a text question floated in there, Josh. Or Greg, take it away.
That's right. We did have a couple come in during Paul's questions. That was a great call by Paul. We appreciate that.
Yes.
First question up, we've got one that says, can you help me understand if I'm on track to meet my financial goals? That's coming from Ryan in Maitland.
Okay, so that just plays right into the core of what we do, which is financial planning. I do something that I call a retirement cash flow plan, and the data that I gather from my clients is all their sources of income, and then we throw some taxes and inflation on top of that, and all of their expenses. And we have an extremely extensive expense summary report, so we can get all the little tiny things people often think about when their expenses, their hard expenses, car, power, mortgage, those types of things. But we get into the stuff like, vacations and, pet care and
Termite bond.
yeah, getting your hair done and your nails done and all that kind of stuff. We look at everything. So taking that big picture and putting it all together will let us be able to give a reasonable answer as to whether somebody is on track and whether they have their assets working for them at a decent enough total return to accomplish their goals. I met with a couple yesterday that's in their 30s and wanted to do some retirement cash flow planning, and they wanted to look at retiring at age 50. So I did this plan for them, and retiring at age 50 left them with, in today's numbers, a comfortable retirement. But then I just ran it out to age 65, which is more typical for a lot of people. And the nest egg that they had with those extra 15 years was so much larger, it was ridiculous. And we could just pick off year by year by year, looking at the end of year nest egg net from the conservative plan I had put together from 50 to age 65 and see the differences. Having time on your side makes a huge difference, and looking at the total picture, not just crunching a few numbers that come off of the top of the brain, allow us to help people like this person who's writing in to see if they are actually on track to accomplish their retirement goals.
The most important thing is you need a complete picture, and what we want to avoid is doing what they call back of the envelope financial planning. And those online calculators are fun, but they don't look at the big picture and don't have the nuances that you need to incorporate in the planning. And this is where people sometimes realize that the plan that they may have cranked up by themselves it really isn't working for various reasons. So it really takes some time of putting it together, and it's a detailed analysis. It isn't something that we slap together in just a few minutes, but it really gives you comfort. And as Nancy said, what you want to know is where you are today, so you don't look back 5 years from now and say, gee, I wish I'd have known that, or gee, I wish you should have done that. And time is a great asset, and the sooner you get started on getting your financial act together, the easier it gets to be. The toughest cases that Nancy and I and the 15 other certified financial planners work on are those folks that maybe have waited just a little bit too long, and then you have to make some difficult lifestyle changes. But it's important that you make those changes now, not 3-5 years from now, because they become even more difficult. And we don't pull any punches. We're like your doctor. We will tell you the truth, and we'll tell you what it takes to get you healthy, and then it's your decision whether or not you want to get healthy. But that's what we do day in and day out as certified financial planners. If you want more information about what Nancy and I do, you can go to our website. That's financialgroup.com. That's financialgroup.com. And we do retirement planning, investment management for a fee, working with our clients as fiduciaries, as certified financial planners, first and foremost. And I know you had somebody you want to recognize today for Memorial
This
Day, Nancy.
weekend is Memorial Weekend, so I got some information on some people who have served our country. And the first person I want to talk about is Charles Winscott. This is somebody that I knew personally. He was in the Marine Corps as a gunnery sergeant for 28 years. He chose the Marine Corps as his career. Worked in the motor pool. He worked in on a lot of different bases in North Carolina, South Carolina, Hawaii, Louisiana, Okinawa, and he served 2 or 3 tours, we're unsure, in Vietnam. So we miss Charles, and we thank him for his service.
Okay. Greg, I see we got a caller where you're typing. We'll just take it as you got it there. Shoot it right to us there, buddy. Greg, are you there? Yes, you are. And we got John, I see, in St. Cloud. Greg, are you there?
Yes, I have a question. My wife asked me when we listened to your program, and she said, should we do a QCD instead of taking our distribution and then writing the church a check?
Well,
and
I'm sorry, please go on.
We have enough deductions to, we itemize our deductions because we have enough deductions.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just wondering.
Well, it certainly has made it easier for a lot of my clients, being able to provide them with a seamless one transaction versus having to do both of them. As we had discussed earlier, there is an opportunity on the paperwork to state who the check is from, so the charity doesn't think that you're forgetting them. So it's a really easy, seamless way to accomplish both of what you want to do and what you have to do.
Are you over 70 and a half, John?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm 75.
Okay. So you qualify the QCD. As Nancy said in her opening, it satisfies your RMD that you need to be taking. So it's a kind of way to kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah.
And that doesn't show up on your taxable income. So it may be a way to do it. Once again, you're limited to $108,000 for yourself and $108,000 for your wife if she has an IRA. But it's got to come out of a IRA, not your 401k, 403b, or 457 plan.
And if you have somebody like a certified financial planner that you're working with, they should be able to process that paperwork for you. If it's something that you're managing all by yourself, if you want to give me a call on Tuesday, because we're not open on Monday, I can maybe walk you through taking from your self-directed IRAs straight to the charity.
What about, is it more advantageous to do a QCD, or is it the same thing or the same amount of tax deduction if I take the money out as a regular distribution and then send it to the charity?
Well, if you're taking
is that a wash or is that the same?
When you do the QCD, whole dollars go from your IRA to the charity, and tax withholding is not necessary. And the dollar amount qualifies as part of your required minimum distribution. So it's non-tax dollars going from the IRA to the charity. So it's a portion of your required minimum distribution that you do not have to withhold taxes on.
Okay. Now when I itemize deductions, then the QCD, I do not put that in.
No, it still qualifies. It still qualifies as a charitable deduction.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Ooh.
Yep.
So you're accomplishing both, having to do the required minimum distribution, making the charitable contribution. You still get the deduction, but those dollars going to the charity are not net of taxes.
It's excluded from your taxable income, which also could maybe keep you reduce your Medicare Part B premiums, depending what your overall income is. So you want to do the QCD when you can. You still get the benefit of the deduction, as Nancy said. You got to be over 70 and a half, and the limit for this year is $108,000. So.
Okay, well, that's something to consider and talk to my advisor about. I appreciate you letting me know.
You're welcome, Joe. We appreciate the call.
Have a nice weekend.
All right.
You too.
All right. We got another text question floating in there, Greg?
We did. I promise I'm here. I'm back.
Okay.
Let's see. We've got a question here from Miranda out in Windermere, and Miranda wants to know if my current investment portfolio aligns with my risk tolerance and timeline.
All right, so something that we do regularly for our clients, actually it's required, is we send out a risk tolerance quiz. And it's a nice little quiz. It's not long. I think there's 10-ish questions. Some of them are actually pictures as opposed to written questions, so they're easier to deal with. And this allows us to get an idea of your attitudes of risk and put together a recommendation for a mix of equities, which would be stock-based funds, versus income, which is bond-based funds or money markets. So if she wants to do something like that and get an idea of what her risk is per our quiz, and then see what the balance is between the equity and the income of her investments, we could answer that question for her.
Yeah, but every client is unique, and it's interesting when you do that, how people score. Some people say I'm really aggressive, and they end up scoring really conservative, and vice versa. I'm really good at conservative, but when they turn in the score, they end up being really aggressive. And then you have to talk them through it. You really understand what that means, and then the impact of that. And the bottom line, though, is you really need to know how aggressively or how conservatively you should be investing your money and still hit your targets. And unfortunately, unless you've gone through the process, you're just kind of flying by the seat of your pants, so to speak. So,
right, and each member of the household could take the risk on their own. I have many couples that have different risk tolerances and have to manage their assets accordingly, and that's perfectly fine.
Yep.
So, anyways, Miranda, if you want to take the quiz, contact us.
All right, Greg, I hear the bumper music, and at the close, we're going to talk about our new office out there in the Winter Garden area. So stay tuned.
Love to hear that. And then we're also going to take a moment to kind of remember the reason we're celebrating this holiday weekend, Memorial Day. When we come back, we'll have a moment with Nancy where she'll discuss some of the people that we will be remembering here this weekend. If you have any other questions about QCDs, give us a call here, 844-580-9326. It's 844-580-WDBO, or go ahead and use that open mic feature inside the WDBO app. You've been listening to On the Money, where we're planning tomorrow
today
with the Certified Financial Group.
So you guys don't know Chicago, but I'm sure in your neighborhood you guys have an old school butcher where you walk in and there's a bunch of guys, no gloves, big white aprons, and there's Frank and there's Stevie and there's Mikey. And these guys know more about meat and more about animals and more about cooking the meat than any of us will ever learn. And so you walk in and you say, hey, Lou, I'm barbecuing this weekend, right? What do you like? And Lou goes to the big racks of stuff he has underneath the glass, and he goes, the veal chops, just in from Argentina, they are the bomb. And you go, veal? Oh, I like veal. Well, what do you got on skirt steak? Oh, we got some great skirt steak. Just came in yesterday from Montana. Skirt steak is one of my favorite, marinated up a little bit. It's fantastic. Lou will never say to you, you know, Elliot, it's a little long on the meat here, big guy. Your cholesterol is getting high. Why don't you go down to the fishmonger a couple blocks and have a nice piece of salmon? Right? He'll never do that. Why? His job is to sell me meat, and I go in, actually the same way I go into the Toyota dealership, because I like Toyotas, and I trust the salesman to sell me a good product if I trust him. And the fact that he's got my interest at heart vis-a-vis my expectations for selling me that thing. By the same token, when I go to see a dietitian, I know she's going to look at all of my labs, she's going to take all the measurements, she's going to run all of her analysis, and she's going to absolutely give me her best thinking on what's best for me. Whether she's a vegetarian or a meat lover, likes this, likes that, if she thinks I should be doing something differently, even if it's not good for her, she's going to give me an opinion that's for my interest. So what's the difference between a fiduciary and the brokers? Well, these are dietitians, these are butchers. It's that simple. Brokers are butchers selling product. Fiduciaries are dietitians looking after your health. The problem is most people think that their butcher is a dietitian. So when one of your moms or dads or friends calls the broker and says, you know, I got 200 grand, I sold a little piece of property, or I got some inheritance, what should I do with it? They're going in thinking they're talking to a dietitian, and they're really talking to Lou the butcher.
What is a fiduciary? When it comes to investing, a fiduciary is legally required to act in your best interest. For 40 years, planners at Certified Financial Group have been guiding our local clients toward financial peace of mind. The rest of the world is still catching up, but our team of certified financial planners are the local, experienced fiduciaries you can trust. Certified Financial Group are your Central Florida planners. Call us today.
40 years ago, I had a dream of building the best personal financial consulting firm in Central Florida. Now, with 14 certified financial planners acting as fiduciaries, I believe we're there. But don't take my word for it.
As we approach retirement, we have the freedom of choice. Peace of mind that we now have, that's everything to us.
The people that work here are honest and caring, and I feel like I can go to sleep at night.
So schedule your no-obligation visit today at financialgroup.com, or we're planning tomorrow. For more than 40 years, our certified financial planner professionals, acting as fiduciaries, have been providing retirement planning and asset management for a fee to countless families across Central Florida.
We've been with Certified since 1992.
We're now into the third or fourth generation of clients that have come to CFG and the team here to do a great job.
It's been so long since I've been doing this that I just don't even worry about anything anymore.
We're Certified Financial Group, but we're planning tomorrow, today. Our fiduciary approach of providing retirement planning and investment management for a fee seems to resonate with our clients. But don't take my word for it.
I knew a gentleman that I worked with who had come to Certified Financial Group.
A friend of mine recommended them, and they were totally correct how good they are.
I had heard from somebody else that it was the best one in town. I've sent several of my teacher friends here.
We're Certified Financial Group, but we're planning tomorrow, today. You may be new to the area, but we're not. For more than 40 years, our certified financial planner professionals, acting as fiduciaries, have been providing retirement planning and asset management for a fee to countless families across Central Florida.
We've been with Certified since 1992.
We're now into the third or fourth generation of clients that have come to CFG and the team here to do a great job.
It's been so long since I've been doing this that I just don't even worry about anything anymore.
We're Certified Financial Group, but we're planning tomorrow, today. Black Monday.
Very special weekend we celebrate here on the money here on WDBO this weekend, Memorial Day weekend. Welcome back. You can listen live on the WDBO app as well on WDBO 107.3 FM and AM 580, wherever you are today. We have Nancy Hecht and Joe Bert from the Certified Financial Group on today. And if you have any questions about your finances, go ahead and leave an open mic using that WDBO app, or go ahead and reach out to Charles Curry with your questions off the air at 407-869-9800. And now back to our hosts today, Nancy and Joe.
I love that song. I always get the chills when I hear Lee Greenwood's version of his own song.
Nancy had a couple more recognitions there, Nancy.
Yes. Okay. The first one I want to talk about is Arthur P. Grant. He served in. He was in the European Theater in the infantry in Company B in the second platoon. Excuse me. They were known as the Rail Splitters, and he took machine gun fire to the neck.
Yeah.
And then the next person that I want to talk about is Robert Lane. He was a lieutenant colonel in the Army, graduated from West Point, airborne ranger with the 101st Airborne Division, served 21 years in the military, 3 years in Southeast Asia during the Vietnam conflict, and then he served 3 years in France.
Now, our relationship to these people are not just random people.
No.
So,
Mr. Ronald Lane is if you've ever called our office and had the pleasure of speaking to Vanessa, it's her father-in-law.
She's our receptionist.
Right. Charles Winscott is Kim Omez's father, or was Kim Omez's father.
She's in our operations department.
Right. And Arthur Grant is Carrie Augustine's, or was Carrie Augustine's grandfather.
There you go. So we appreciate those folks and all those folks and
everybody
maybe
else.
ultimate sacrifice. The one thing about I learned about Memorial Day, it used to be called Decoration Day. Do you remember that, Nancy? You're a little younger than I am. Back in the day, they changed it to Memorial Day in 1971. Back in the day, it used to be called Decoration Day. It was really started in right after the Civil War to honor the veterans of the Civil War, and then it morphed into World War I, World War II, Vietnam, and Korea, and so forth. But it's really to honor those folks that died in the military, not all veterans. That's for Veterans Day.
Right.
So Memorial Day is for those men and women who have died within the military, and some made the ultimate sacrifice for our wonderful freedom that we enjoy. So enjoy the weekend. It's not appropriate to say Happy Memorial Day, but God bless all those that gave their lives so that we enjoy the freedoms that we have here in the United States.
You've been listening to On the Money, where we're planning tomorrow
today
with the Certified Financial Group.